Chris
Hey, how you
Bowen,
doing, Chris?
Hey, good
how's it
morning,
going?
Andrew. Thanks for joining us. You're on with CB Squared in Focus this morning. Andrew, Vice President at Gully Transportation, one of our favorite companies to work with, and wanted to spend some time getting to know you this morning and what's going on with the organization. Andrew, if you'd tell us a little bit about your role with Gully and maybe a little bit of what got you to this point as an organization in the trucking and logistics business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm currently Vice President of Gully Transportation and Interstate Carrier Express, going on my 15th year here.
Wow.
I actually was around Gully for a long, long time as my father drove since 1983. So I've been around since I've been a little guy riding in the truck, going out with
No
him on
kidding.
runs. And my grandfather actually still drives here.
Wow.
So
You're kidding me.
yeah, absolutely. Still runs to Kansas City every day and back.
Wow.
77 years old.
Wow.
So, and then I started here when I was a junior in college, kind of mentoring Michael, our owner and president. And I just kind of rose through the ranks and I'm here now. So,
Wow.
That's cool. It's definitely some family legacy there and some good history within Gully just as an organization.
yeah.
What's new within your business within the world of trucking? You know, what's on the horizon as we're going into the end of 2021 and maybe what you foresee some of the opportunities, maybe some of the challenges. You want to speak to that?
Well, I think number one are, and we're not alone when we say this, but the driver situation is obviously our biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Finding people that want to actually come into the industry and drive and replace the ones that are getting out of the industry.
Yeah.
And it's harder and harder every day to replace the ones that are getting out that's been here for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Right.
So here at Gully and ICX, we actually rolled out one of our largest pay increases that we've done.
Awesome.
I would say probably in 10 years. It seems
Wow.
to be working a little bit. We have a little bit more activity on the recruiting side and also on the retention side. So that's one of our major focuses. And also we rolled out some new technology with Samsara and
Yeah.
actually local out of St. Louis named DITAT, which is a new TMS system.
Cool.
So it's given our customers the ability to track and trace freight in real time and us the ability to track the drivers and hours of service and safety precautions as well.
Yeah. So
Good.
it's much more efficient for everyone involved.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so when you look at Gully and ICX, what type of freight are you moving? What makes you kind of unique in the industry? Because you don't do everything, right?
No, so we do a little bit of everything. On the Gully side, we have a van operating unit. We also have a refrigerated operating unit. And we also haul liquid corn syrup in our tanker unit, as well as pneumatic tanks. We haul food grade starches and limestone.
Wow.
So, and we operate predominantly in the Midwest as far as the Gully side goes.
Yeah.
On the ICX side, we have a terminal in Willingboro, New Jersey, and our main focus out of there is volume LTL,
Okay.
and then also some dedicated moves for some large customers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So between the two divisions, yes, covering quite a bit, but your Midwest
Yes.
routes are more specific, like you said, with Gully.
Yep.
So when a driver decides they want to come work for Gully and drive for Gully, you know, your grandfather staying as long as he has, you know, certainly be there. Why do they come to the company and why do they stay? Why do employees look to Gully as that employer of choice, or ICX too, Gully and ICX, I should say?
Right. Well, I think in today's world, everybody's using that family atmosphere
Yeah.
term. Even some of the big fleets are using that now on advertisements, but it's one thing to use it in an advertisement, but it's also another thing to actually have the actions and flexibility with the drivers and, the personal touch with them to let them stay and to give them home time. And I think that we do a great job of balancing, work life and home life with the drivers to allow them to have both. And I think that's one of the main points why people come here.
Would you say that there's, I mean, certainly opportunity for drivers to come in? I mean, we know that, but is there a certain criteria that you look for a driver? Is it, I mean, how does somebody even think about getting into the industry if they haven't driven before?
Well, we're also kind of unique as well. We take drivers on even if they haven't drove before. We will run them through a safety program and a training program with our director of safety, and he actually is hands-on and trains them and helps them get a CDL. And then we put them out with a trainer and get them into the industry.
That's great.
That's awesome. And I'm sure that's got to help too, because you don't just have to pull drivers from someone else. You're actually increasing that opportunity.
It does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Chris, I know as we were talking through, I mean, lots of opportunities for drivers, lots of opportunity there. What questions do you have for Andrew? I guess more about the industry and what they're doing. That's
Sure. So how long does it take, Andrew, for somebody to walk in your door that has never driven a truck before, says, you know what, I'm really interested in this? How long would it take them from the time they walk in the door to the time that they're actually driving one of your trucks?
typically on the minimum side, we like at least 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
However, it could be anywhere up to 10 weeks. We do not put anybody out unless they feel comfortable, our trainer feel comfortable, and our safety director feels comfortable.
Yeah.
So it depends. It's all on their progression.
Yeah. So when you look at 2022, I mean, right now, on the news, all we're hearing about is, ships sitting out in port. By the time they unload one, there's 6 more waiting. We were just chatting about, you can keep these ports open 24 hours, but you only have so much room sitting on the dock. So what do you see happening in 2022 that could help relieve some of this supply chain backup?
Well, I'm not real sure if it's going to relieve much.
Right.
I think, the only thing that's going to relieve it is actually drivers entering the market, capacity. And right now, capacity is as tight as it's ever been. The freight volume index is high. The tender rejection index is running at an all-time high. So even as carriers, we can't keep up even when the ships do come into port.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I got to think, within Gully and all in the industry, that there's just trucks waiting. I mean, that are open, that we just don't have the drivers. That's a big component that probably isn't being talked about enough.
Absolutely. I think, and you can see that across the industry when you look at some of the different, third quarter reporting, that a lot of fleets have actually gotten smaller in the past year, and they've downsized and kind of pick and choose and do what you do and do it well.
Yeah. No, that's try to, like you said, streamline and be as efficient
Absolutely.
as you can. So if somebody is interested in looking at Gully or ICX as an opportunity to drive, how do they get a hold of your team? What's kind of that best route for somebody who's interested in this as a career?
So the best route would be to visit our website, gullytransport.com.
Yes.
And from there, they'll be able to fill in an online application and also get all the telephone numbers required to call Denise, our recruiter.
Okay, very good.
We'll take it from there and we'll hopefully hire them.
Awesome. No, that's good. Chris, I know we've got a final question we always like to ask on an In Focus. So I'll let you lead out with that one.
Yeah. So with the challenges that you have from day to day, is there a quote? Is there a mentor, that you kind of go to when you're, having those long days?
There's a few, but one sticks out, and it kind of is a sports reference, but Michael Jordan actually said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Absolutely.
So, and I think the ability to put that and to put that in your organization and help people grow and make mistakes along the way is very key.
No, that's well said. Well, Andrew, we appreciate you being on CB2 In Focus and highlighting a little of your background, your family's background.
Thank you.
The success of Gully and ICX. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you guys for everything you do for us. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
All right. Take care.